dear students, today we are going to discuss subject biology on the topic of reproduction, that is chapter 15, which you may find in page 285, and this topic is one of the most important topics. Many board questions are asked in these topics. So today, firstly, we are going to discuss in briefly. So I want you to be attentive and watch these short video clips seriously. So now, firstly, what is reproduction? So reproduction is the process by which living organisms reproduce new individuals similar to themselves. So this reproduction, we mean that it is the process in which all the living organisms produce similar to themselves. So already 3,000 millions of years back, the species of all the living organisms on this universe already existed. So because of this reproduction today, there are many species of living organisms are found on this earth. So why? Some questions can be asked on this, why reproduction is important. If the question asks why reproduction is important, your answer is reproduction is important to continuity of life. So this reproduction is very important. Without this reproduction, all the living organisms are not increase their numbers. So there are different types of reproduction. There are two main types we are going to discuss today. Number one is asexual reproductions. In this asexual reproduction, what is asexual reproduction? It is a method of reproduction in which a single parent is involved. In asexual reproductions, it is the involvement of a single parent. If male, only male. If female, only females. No need of both male and females. In these asexual reproductions, only single parents are involved in producing new individuals similar to themselves. And next is gametes not forms. In male and female, we have different gametes. In male is sperm, in female it is ovum or egg cell. These two are involved in these reproductions, but in asexual reproduction, these formations of gametes are not involved in the producing of new organisms. Third one, progeny is identical to parents. Progeny is identical to parents. This progeny, we mean the new organisms, new individuals. We also call as offspring, all the newborn organisms. This progeny. Why in asexual reproductions, progeny is identical to parent? Because only single parents are involved in asexual reproduction. Because of that, reproductions in asexual reproductions are identical to parents. And lastly, these type of asexual reproductions are involved in the lower organisms which among the microorganisms are involved under these asexual reproductions. Okay, now we will discuss the second type of reproduction, that is sexual reproductions. In sexual reproduction, it is a method of reproduction in which both parents, male and females, are involved. These sexual reproductions are different from asexual reproductions. The main difference between is that in sexual reproduction, two parents are involved, that is male and females, and in asexual reproductions, only single parents are involved. And in these sexual reproductions, gametes are formed. Why gametes are formed in asexual reproduction? Because it involves male and females. Male and females are involved in these sexual reproductions. Without only single parents are not involved in this sexual reproduction. It requires both male and females. Without these two, no new organisms are reproduced. And the third, progeny is only genetically similar to parents. In sexual reproductions, because of the involvement of two parents, male and females, the progeny are not identical. It is genetically similar to parents. Genetically, we mean that from one generation to the next generation, and from one parents to their offspring, DNA. This is the gene which are passing through, which are always transferred from one parent to the child. Because of this DNA, we are genetically similar to our parents. The color of the parents and the color of their son and daughters may be different, but genetically they will be similar. That is the meaning of this. Progeny is only genetically similar to parents. And lastly, adapted to higher organisms. These sexual reproductions are in both plants and animals. It is adapted to higher organisms. Here there is one point you need to be noted. What is clone? It is sometimes asked in the board, define clone, or what is cloning? It is a method of asexual reproduction which involves mitosis and vegetative reproductions. In this clone, we mean that it is a type of asexual reproduction. This cloning is a type of asexual reproduction in which involves mitosis and vegetative reproduction. In this, because of the involvement of mitosis and vegetative reproduction in this cloning, the offspring will be identical to parents. And now we will discuss the different types of asexual reproduction. There are different types of sexual reproduction. So today we will discuss briefly. Number one, budding. Budding, we mean this is examples of budding hydra, and this is called bud. Bud. In our local dialect, we call it as amit. Amit. So, in this, a method of asexual reproduction in which a new organism is produced as an outgrowth of the parent's body parts. It is a type of sexual reproduction in which new organisms are produced from the body of the parents. So some small outgrowths will be there in the parents, and when time's going on, and these small bud will be grow larger and larger, and at last it will be spread from the parents. Now already spread in the third stage. When it is spread from the third stage, the new bud which are detached from the parents are grown into new organisms. So when it is mature, when the bud is mature, it will be detached or broken down from the parents and form and grow into a new organisms. That type of organisms involved in asexual reproduction are called buddings. This is the first types of asexual reproductions. Budding involved example is hydra. And the second types of asexual reproduction is that fragmentation. Fragment means the brokening parts. Fragment. Fragment itu tinggal abong fatina, abong bonga tinai. The method of asexual reproduction in which the broken pieces of an organism or fragments grow into a complete organisms. Example is spirogyra. In this spirogyra, it look like a sugar cane. It have this is the new organism which can be grown into the new individuals. When this spirogyra is broken into pieces, the brokening part of spirogyra also can be grown into the new organisms. And that type, this is called the fragments, which is brokening down from the parents. Because of that, we call as fragmentations. So this type of organisms which are involved in fragment from the parents and grow into a new individuals or new organisms is called fragmentations. Example, spirogyra. And the third types of asexual reproduction is spore formations, or it is also called sporulations. Sometimes in the board examination it is defined sporulations. If it's mentioned sporulation, it is same as the spore formations. You should not be confused on these spore formations. It is also called sporulations. Spores are small bud-like structures develop at the top and release into air and germinate into a new organisms. Examples are fungi, green algae, and ferns. These are the structures of how spores are produced. Spores, if the question asks you, define a spore. A spore, we mean that spore contain a small nucleus and small amount of cytoplasms. The darkened part, the bigger part is called nucleus, and the dot structures which are present inside this circle are called cytoplasms. Spore we call means spore contain nucleus, this one, and the surrounding dot structures are called cytoplasms. What do we mean by spore? Spore contain a nucleus and the small amount of cytoplasms. And this one is the thick wall protecting these cytoplasms and the nucleus. When it is mature, it will be broken. It will be broken. When it is broken, these cytoplasms will be scattered here and there. Will be carried by the wind, maybe by the waters, maybe different types of agents may be there to carry the spore. When you find spore, you may have confused. Spore, we mean that spore contain nucleus and cytoplasms. If the question asks define a spore, if the question asks define a spore, the answer will be the spore contain nucleus and small amount of cytoplasms. These two are involved in this spore formations. When these cytoplasms and nucleus are mature, and then the thick wall, this will be the thick wall, will be broken. And when it broken, all these cytoplasms which are present inside this thick wall will be sprinkling here and there. Will be carried by wind, maybe, will be carried by other agents, maybe. And then the place where they drop on the ground, they will be germinated. Germinated means they will be growth and form a new organisms. That types of formations of new organisms by the spore is called spore formation or sporulations. Okay, now we will discuss the four types of asexual reproduction. There is vegetative reproductions. When you find vegetatives, it is very similar to vegetables. So it is a method of asexual reproductions in which vegetative part like root, stems, leaf develop into another complete outer plants. So this vegetative reproduction mean that part of the plant which are eaten, which can be eaten, like root, stems and leaf. By using those eatable parts, new individual or new organisms can be produced or developed. That types of asexual reproduction are called vegetative reproductions. And examples are onions, potatoes and banana. All these are vegetative reproductions. And the benefit of these vegetative reproductions, sometimes some question asks what are the advantages of vegetative reproductions. So the advantage of vegetative reproduction is that in this vegetative reproduction, genetically identical to parents, offsprings are developed. The second advantages of vegetative reproduction is that plant can bear flowers, fruits other than the plant which are grown from seed. In this vegetative part, the root which are eaten can be planted and grown into a new individuals. And banana also, we doesn't plant the seed of banana. So if we plant the stem of banana, it will be grow faster and it will give more fruit other than the others which are planted by seed. And sometimes some question can be asked in the board exams, why vegetative reproduction is also considered as asexual reproductions in 1 mark. The main reason why these vegetative reproductions is also considered as asexual reproduction is that in this vegetative reproduction, genetically identical to the parents' offsprings are develops. So because of that, this vegetative reproduction also can be sometime we can say that it is asexual reproductions. And the 5th types of asexual reproduction is micropropagation or tissue cultures. And these micropropagations or tissue culture, it is a technique of propagations of plant cells, tissue or organs by using tissue cultures. So in these types of micropropagation, like rose, example, mango and jasmine, those type of plants can be developed into new plants by cutting the stem and plant it or put into different plants into one and produce a new plants. So in under this micropropagation or tissue culture, there are different types of techniques are used. Number 1 is cutting. They will cut the branch of the stems of the plant, example rose, and they will be planted into another plants or different types of flowers, and they will grow into a full flowers, and they will bloom into different color flowers in the one stems of the plants. So that type of techniques to produce new plants or organisms by using tissue cultures are called micropropagation. And lastly, the last types of asexual reproduction is parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis, it is a type of asexual reproduction in which the organisms develops from and fertilize eggs. Examples are sunflowers and tomatoes, Solanaceae, tomatoes family, all those are under this parthenogenesis. Without involvement of fertilization, without fertilizations, they will be developed into a new offspring or new individuals. So those types of plants which involve without fertilizations are called parthenogenesis. Under this parthenogenesis, there are artificial and natural also will be there. So these are the different types of asexual reproduction we will discuss in this topic. So there are different questions can be asked under this sexual reproductions. Sometimes it asks, explain the different types of asexual reproductions and give example, and it can carry 5 marks and it can carry 3 marks. If according to the mark, if carry 3 marks, among these 6 you need to write 3 points, and you need to explain shortly and you need to write the examples. And as I told you, the definitions are also important. As we say in the beginning of this class, what is cloning is also very important. Cloning, sometime in board examination it is asked, define cloning. Clones or cloning, we mean that it is the involvement, it is a type of asexual reproductions in which mitosis and vegetative reproductions are involved, and the offsprings are identical to their parents. And other types, different types of questions can be asked in this asexual reproductions. As I told you, what is the advantage of vegetative reproduction? Give 2 points can be asked. And why vegetative reproduction is also considered as asexual reproduction? I already mentioned in the explanations. And only what is parthenogenesis, what is tissue cultures, and what is difference between asexual and Sexual reproduction also can be asked in 3 marks or 2 marks, in 1 marks. So according to that, you need to answer according to the mark they ask. So dear students, please watch this short video patiently and seriously, and after that go through the text so that you will gain a knowledge. And so if you have time, note it down whatever we taught in this video class. Thank you for watching.